Click. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, good morning, and welcome to a Streamline Simulations video. And kind of what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna showcase this model that I'm working on to this point. So it's far from finished, as you can see. It is really far from finished. Those flaps are actually up. I should point out, it's the CFG. I'm just kind of hijacking someone else's CFG to just test this aircraft. And this is an Embraer 123 or CBA-123. I could be wrong on the CBA part. Could be like CBM or I don't even know. But I know it's partially Embraer. It was a prototype aircraft. Only two were actually finished and flying, and one prototype never really was finished. And that's pretty much the history of the aircraft right there. It's an interesting aircraft, and it's an easy aircraft to model. Actually not. Relatively easy to model. As you can see, the model is quite okay. It's far from finished, I should say. But it is okay. Obviously, the placement of the aircraft is not correct, but that can also be changed with the CFG. I am just right now too lazy to completely make a CFG for an unfinished aircraft. If you really want to know what is about this aircraft, I kept it a secret for quite a while, and only a few people knew I was developing this thing. Obviously, I'm also developing a G159 and an A350 and a Boeing 737. But this one is what I've been kind of working on lately, and I really like this little airplane. I think it's a very interesting aircraft. So I'm just going to showcase around what is working already on the exterior model and what isn't. So let me just start the thing up. Note, there will not be actual propeller discs. These 3D propellers will stay like this. They will rotate, but they won't change. That will change eventually. I want volumetric propellers, but for now, it works. Let's put it that way. We're at a grass field. Why? I have no idea. Actually, I can show you, by the way, that I really have hijacked someone else's CFG. Also, the propellers are rotating the wrong way. But look, all the lights are misplaced. It's using a CFG of a Embraer 120, very similar in control aircraft. Sorry if the video quality isn't very high. I don't have proper recording software. But see, the animations of the flaps are going the right way. They're not mirrored, but they don't go completely up. That's a problem, but it is fixable. Let's put it that way. It's fixable. So let's just go. Animations here work. I might do them a little more because they're a little shallow animations, but they work. Everything is working. Let's just take this thing to the sky right now. Doesn't have a VC or anything yet. And this is purely mainly made for an exterior model for my own virtual airline. But yeah, most animations work. I just don't have trim and flight wing flex or anything. But most of it is working. Gears working. You can see. Pretty nice indeed. So this aircraft was quite interesting in many aspects. First of all, the wing design. Very thin, very small wings, yet very capable of flight, that is. Another interesting part of the aircraft, and you can probably already notice, is the placement of the engines. The two turboprop engines placed in the back of the aircraft, pushing the air rather than pulling the air, which I think is a really cool concept, and I really wish we would see more of these type of aircraft around. The nice thing about these aircraft is they're very quiet within the cabin, because you're pretty much riding ahead of the sound. though they're not as quiet on the outside because of the gases of these exhaust hitting the propellers, which is not a good thing. And at this moment I wish I could actually just pull up the flaps completely, but I can't, because there's a CFG problem. It's not an animation problem, as I can show. No, I can't show you, by the way, because the recording software won't allow it. But yeah, so this is what I have been making for 2 days. This is 2 days of work. So yeah, it is far from finished. This is just 2 days of modeling. Nothing really finished at all. I just got it in the flight simulator. It kind of works. I mean, the flaps are not correct. The placement of the wheels on the ground isn't entirely correct. But it's getting there. The basic model is there. I need to model the wheels a little bit more, and I need to definitely add some details to this thing, like the tow tube and cabling and stuff like that. For now, I'm kind of happy that now the animations are mostly sorted out, apart from the flaps and the propellers rotating in the wrong direction, but that's an easy fix. I now know how to do that well. I've learned so much making this model that I'm gonna put all the knowledge that I have with this model in the A350, which is a highly anticipated model, which I am working on. But sometimes you just want something else in the meantime. And it's not a bad model at all. I'm actually surprised by the outcome of this. Even the windows cockpit windows are quite okay. Now I was really thinking of, am I going to make 3D modeled windows or just textured ones? I was going for 3D, but eventually decided to do textured ones because I have 3 other models that will actually have 3D models. I'm kind of sick of all those windows. So yeah, I'm keeping it this way. I'm gonna rotate or bank left, and then we're gonna land on the runway, and that's where I'm gonna end the video. In the meantime, I think I might be able to finish this model within a month. I really think so. I'm really getting the hang of modeling, and I'm really learning a lot of new tricks, speeding the process up dramatically. Yeah, so I think I can finish this within a month, and I will be uploading this model to hopefully AVSim and definitely flightsim.com. I've had problems with AVSim, and maybe even AVSim Rus, or the Russian version of that. So yeah, don't mind my flying right now because I'm not doing it completely serious. But there are some creases and wrinkles here and there. I mean, there is one here and in the windows, but overall, and around the fuel tanks, but overall it's very smooth model, and with a lot of texturing you can actually get rid of most of the working errors, which is what I will be doing. So yeah, and I might actually convert this fuselage model and tail model into a Embraer Brasilia as well, because well, the aircraft is very similar, especially the cockpit design. And yes, right now it's not textured or anything. I am going to work on that very soon. But I'm very excited for the future for this model, and because of this model, very excited for the future of the A350, 737, and G159. The Grumman Gulfstream 1, also known as that one. So I'm surprised, but just 2 days of work, I've learned literally so many more tricks than I would have done with any other model. What I would have done with any other model in a year. I mean, I have done this now. This October or something will be officially a year that I'm into developing this kind of stuff. Going a little too fast, and I'm completely not taking this serious, but then it will be a year since I'm developing this stuff, and I've learned so much in the past few days that I've never learned in the past year doing this. So I'm really really excited for this model and for the future of this model and of the future of all the others, just of what happened with this model. So if you are following me on Facebook or the little group of people that I joined with on Facebook, which is the Flight Sim Studios, or yeah, Flight Sim Studios 13, or Simulation Studios. I will put the link in the description. Simulation Studios 13, and my own page, which would be Streamline Simulations. If you follow us there, you will know I'm working on A350, and I promise that and everything. But don't be mad at me for making this little airplane, because without this little airplane, the A350 would have been cancelled again. Let me just put it that way. Let's just land this thing. It's quite a funny aircraft to fly, even though it's using the Brasilia FE flight model. It is, well, pretty good actually. It fits the model really well because apparently the Embraer 123 / CBA-123 flies the exact same way as the Brasilia would, just more efficiently. So in the FDE, I would have to make it more aerodynamic and streamlined and everything. The flaps are kind of hitting the wheels, I just noticed, but okay. And now we're under the glide slope. I'm not paying attention. I'm very sorry. I rarely do this like this. When I fly, I do it with an official flight plan and ILS approach, and then I can literally just look out of the window pretty much all the whole time. When you hit 300 feet, you can just take over, but I rarely do it this way. Only when I do VFR flights. Well, let's just glide a little bit above the runway. There we go. First thing, first down. And here we are, on the ground. The only other thing I need to put in this thing is the steering of the gear. I mean, the flaps do work, by the way, but they just don't go up completely. But as you can see, the front landing gear is not animated with the steering landing gear or anything. So yeah, there is a lot of work to do with this little model, but it is getting there very quickly. And I think Flight Simulator deserves a decent Embraer 123, CBA-123. And as you can see, it's a really smooth model. The fuselage itself is pretty smooth, because I use a different technique now that I did with any other airplane. So sadly, the A350 will still use the old technique. It will still look good, but not as smooth as this one does. Okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna go over the grass. And I see that the recorded frames on the video are very bad. I know they are. Excuse me. I just don't have very good recording software. I need to install Mirrorless Action again. I've been using the past decades. And we're not even parking it on an official parking spot because I don't give a shit. There we are. And turn her off. So yeah, expect this model maybe within a month. Maybe longer, it really depends, because there are some quirks here and there. I mean, you can't see it right now, but in certain light, you can actually see that the engine parts, you can't see it now, but the engine parts have weird openings in them and stuff. Because of some weird, you can kind of faintly see it, probably not on the video, but yeah. This needs to be worked out, these creases, which will disappear actually mostly when using textures, but you know, wasn't very smooth. But look how round this object is. It's a very smooth object. So yeah, this was the video. I know it's a little weird video, but I just really wanted to show off the aircraft and what I've been doing so you guys don't think like, oh, there is no news on the A350. This is actually A350 news, believe it or not, because without this thing, I mean, this thing has taught me so much that I can all use in the A350, you don't even know. So once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you very soon again.